Midway Games was an American video game company founded in Chicago, Illinois. The company was created in 1958 as an independent manufacturer of amusement equipment. Midway Games was bought by Bally in 1969. Bally at the time was the leading company in the manufacturing of slot machines. For a few years, Midway would create and manufacture mechanical games like puck bowling and simulated western shootout. In 1973, the company would start creating, distributing, and manufacturing a wide variety of arcade games. After 1973, Midway formed a business alliance with Taito, which was in Japan. Both companies regularly licensed their games to each other for distribution in their respective country. Eventually, Midway would move to home consoles and develop its own console with Bally called the Bally Home Library Computer, which was also called the Bally Astrocade. Midway would manufacture and sell the Bally Astrocade starting in 1977 and would keep making games and manufacturing systems till 1985. In 85, the console would be discontinued. It was the only console that Midway would ever make with Bally. Midway's success came in 1978. During this time period, very important factors occurred. The first important thing that happened is that Midway licensed and distributed Taito's arcade game Space Invaders in America. This would make Midway a popular company in America. In 1980 and 1981, Midway would license and distribute Namco's Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man. By doing this, Midway would again make itself popular in American culture. A second factor which made Midway popular is that in 1981, Bally merged its pinball division with Midway's, which created the Bally Midway Manufacturing Division. As a result of the licensing and distributing of Taito and Namco games, combined with making pinball machines with Bally, led to Midway becoming the leading producer of arcade video games in America. In 1988, the Bally Midway division of Bally was purchased by the Williams Electronic Games through its parent company, WMS Industries Incorporated. Once this occurred, Midway would move from Franklin Park, Illinois, to Chicago, Illinois. Under WMS Industries, Midway continued to produce arcade games under the Bally Midway label, while producing pinball tables under the Bally brand. In 1991, Midway absorbed Williams' video game division, which resulted in Midway making games and taking the Bally part off their name. In 1992, Midway would produce the Addams Family pinball machine, which would become the best-selling pinball machine of all time. Midway would sell 20,270 units of this machine. In 1996, Midway changed its corporate name from Midway Manufacturing to Midway Games Incorporated. The reason why Midway did this is because Midway was entering the home console market for games, not consoles, games. Midway would also create a new division called Midway Home Entertainment, which was made for the production and creation of home console games, just like I've said before. The main branch of the company would be renamed Midway Amusement Games, which was used only for creation of arcade and pinball machines. In 1996, WMS made a public offering of Midway stock and transferred its video game copyright and trademarks to Midway itself. In 1998, WMS gave its remaining 86.8% stock to Midway, which made Midway its own independent entity. In 1999, Midway left the pinball industry. The reason for this being is that in 1996, Midway transferred most of its pinball assets to WMS in exchange to have WMS give Midway video game rights. In January of 2000, Midway changed the name of its games, which was bought by WMS in 1996, to Midway Games West. Midway did this because it wanted to become a powerful video game company and try to beat Atari, which was a very big video game maker at the time as well. In 2000, Midway would lose a lot of its money. The company's financial woes would continue, and in 2003, Midway's lost $11.15 million on sales. Despite losses, the company was able to survive with stock and debt offerings and various credit arrangements. Furthermore, in 2003, Summer Stone, who was a minority shareholder, began to increase his stocks in the company, and eventually he owned 80% of the stocks, which gave him control of the company. In April of 2004, Midway acquired Surreal Software. In October of the same year, Midway would acquire Inevitable Entertainment of Austin, which became Midway Austin. In December of the same year, Midway acquired Paradox Development. On August 2005, Midway would privately acquire Australia developer Redstone Games, which would be renamed Midway Studios Australia. On December 15th of the same year, Midway would shut down Midway Studios Australia and lost $20 million on sales of $162 million and $112 million on sales of $150 million. Sumner Redstone voted his shares to elect his daughter Sherry Redstone to director and later chair of the board. In 2007, Midway lost $177 million on sales and $166 million and $100 million on sales of $157 million. Midway would continue to finance its business with debt offerings and other credit ratings. In 2007, Midway would be in a court battle with Mind Shadow Entertainment for the rights of a video game called PSI Ops. Mind Shadow claimed that Midway ripped off ideas from them. In 2008, the court ruled in favor of Midway. On March 6, 2007, Midway entered into a $90 million credit agreement with National Amusements, which is owned by Sumner Redstone. In 2008, Midway closed its Los Angeles and Austin studios. On November 20th, 2008, its stock fell below $1. In 2008, Sumner Redstone sold 87% of stock to Mark Thomas, a private investor, through his company Mount Acquisition Holds LLC. In 2008, Midway lost $19 million of sales of $220 million. On February 12, 2008, Midway filed for bankruptcy. In July of the same year, Warner Brothers brought most of Midway